Hey there, and welcome back to the Simple AI Guide, where we take the complicated world of artificial intelligence and explain it in plain English. My name is Hope. Today we are discussing caring for aging family members and how AI can help. If you are one of the millions of people juggling a job, a family, and the care of an aging mom or dad, this episode is made for you because the exhaustion is real. From medication reminders to fall detection to apps that can help you catch your breath. We are breaking it all down today, in plain English, so you can decide what might help your family. Let's start with the big picture. Why does AI even matter for family caregivers? Well, the numbers tell quite a story. According to the Administration for Community Living, the number of family caregivers in the United States grew by nearly 45% over the last decade, reaching an estimated 63 million people in 2025. And on average, those caregivers spend about 27 hours per week supporting their loved ones, often while holding down a full-time job at the same time. The federal government is taking this seriously. In February of 2026, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services launched what's called the ACL Caregiver AI Prize Competition, a $2.5 million challenge to push developers to create practical AI solutions that reduce caregiver burden. That is a significant investment, and it signals just how urgent this issue has become. And here's a number that really brings it home. A 2025 report by the National Alliance for Caregiving and AARP found that 27% of caregivers support someone with Alzheimer's or another form of dementia. Those conditions often require round-the-clock supervision. AI is not going to replace that kind of human dedication, but it can make it more sustainable, and sometimes that makes all the difference. So, what is available today? Quite a lot, actually, and that's what we are going to walk through together in this episode. We are going to cover voice assistance, medication management, fall detection, AI companions, family coordination apps, and tools to help with caregiver burnout. All practical, all accessible to everyday families. Let's start with voice assistance. If you are looking for one AI tool to start with for an aging parent, a voice assistant is almost certainly the answer. Amazon Alexa and Google Home are the two most popular options, and both offer features specifically designed for elder care settings. Let's talk about Amazon Alexa together first. This is a subscription service. It runs about $20 a month, and it adds a caregiver layer on top of a standard Amazon Echo device. Here's what that means in practice. Caregivers get what's called an activity feed, which lets you see when your loved one is using the device. You get a remote assist option so you can manage Alexa settings from a distance, and you get access to an emergency helpline. But what about privacy? The system is designed so that caregivers can see that their parent is active and interacting with the device, but not what was said to Alexa. That balance matters when you're talking about maintaining someone's dignity while keeping them safe. On the Google side, Google Home with a Nest Hub display offers voice-controlled routines, emergency calling, and smart home integration. Safety features include smoke and carbon monoxide alerts. It even offers automated evening routines. A parent can literally just say goodnight, and the system will dim the lights, lock the doors, and adjust the thermostat automatically. Both platforms can set medication reminders, make video calls to family members, play music, answer health questions, and control smart home devices, all by voice, with no typing or touchscreen required. For seniors who find smartphones confusing or physically difficult to use, this simplicity can be very helpful. Here's a pro tip if you're getting started with voice assistants. Start with just one or two simple voice commands. Something like turn on the lights or call my daughter. Build confidence gradually before introducing more complex routines. A little patience at the beginning goes a long way. Now let's talk about one of the most urgent issues in elder care, medication management. Medication errors are a significant risk for older adults. The National Institute on Aging tells us that not taking medications as prescribed is a leading cause of preventable hospitalizations among seniors. AI tools are now directly addressing this problem. Alexa offers voice-based medication reminders at scheduled times. When the reminder fires, Alexa announces it out loud. Just a friendly voice saying it's time to take your medication. For seniors who struggle with pill organizers or smartphone notifications, this alone can dramatically reduce missed doses. Then there is a product called eTect RX. It uses a sensor embedded in what's called an ingestible capsule. The capsule communicates with a small wearable patch that the person wears, and the system confirms whether the medication was physically swallowed. It then sends a remote notification to caregivers. You are not guessing. You're not calling to ask. You know, the doubt is completely removed. For families who prefer a simpler approach, there are smart pill dispensers like Hero and Livy. These devices use AI to organize, dispense, and track multiple medications. They send alerts to family members if a scheduled dose is missed. These are especially valuable when a parent is managing 5 or more medications, which, by the way, is extremely common for adults over 65. The CDC reports that over 83% of adults age 60 and older take at least one prescription drug daily, and many are managing multiple medications at the same time. Managing that complexity is hard for anyone. AI tools make it easier. Now let's talk about something that keeps a lot of caregivers up at night: falls. Falls are the leading cause of injury for adults over 65, and the fear of a parent lying on the floor for hours with no one knowing is one of the biggest anxieties caregivers carry. This is an area where AI has made some meaningful progress. Apple Watch includes built-in fall detection powered by AI. The watch is trained to recognize the way a body moves when it goes down. If the wearer does not respond to a prompt within 60 seconds after a potential fall is detected, the watch automatically calls emergency services and notifies designated contacts. Newer models also monitor for irregular heart rhythms and low blood oxygen levels, which means you can catch problems before they turn into emergencies. But here's the catch with wearables: they only work if your parent is wearing them, and that's a very real challenge. A lot of older adults take off their watch or pendant and leave it on the nightstand, which is exactly when they might need it most. That's where a company called Vayar comes in. Vayar Care is a radar-based device that mounts directly to the wall and monitors an entire room for falls, with no wearable required at all. The radar technology can detect falls even during nighttime bathroom trips, which are statistically one of the highest risk moments for older adults. You do not have to convince your parent to wear anything. The room itself becomes the safety net. There's also Sky Angel Care, which offers a fall detection pendant that pairs with Amazon Alexa together. When a fall is detected, it automatically notifies a response team, combining the simplicity of a traditional pendant with Alexa's connected infrastructure. Beyond just falls, AI-powered home monitoring systems now track patterns of daily activity. Things like opening the refrigerator, turning on lights, using the bathroom. The AI learns what's normal for that person. And if unusual inactivity is detected, maybe the refrigerator hasn't been opened all morning, or the bathroom light hasn't turned on, the system alerts family members. This provides genuine reassurance without the need for invasive cameras in someone's home. Next, let's talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention: loneliness. Loneliness among older adults is a genuine health crisis. The CDC identifies social isolation as a serious public health risk, linked to a 50% increased risk of dementia, higher rates of depression, and greater mortality risk among seniors. For caregivers who cannot be physically present around the clock, this is a source of real guilt and worry. AI companion tools are designed specifically for this challenge. Elic, made by a company called Intuition Robotics, is one of the most developed AI companions for seniors. It's a tabletop device. Think of it as a friendly, conversational robot that lives on the kitchen counter. Elic proactively initiates conversation throughout the day. It suggests activities, it shares news, it provides friendly reminders, and it learns over time what that person enjoys talking about. The subscription model typically runs around $30 to $50 a month for the service, with the device itself in the $250 to $350 range. But here's something worth knowing. Some state aging agencies and Medicare Advantage plans offer subsidized access. It is worth asking about before you pay full price. Wobot and Wysa are AI-powered mental wellness apps that use cognitive behavioral therapy techniques in a conversational format. While they're primarily designed for mental health support, they provide structured, engaging daily check-ins that can meaningfully reduce isolation for seniors who are homebound or live alone. And honestly, even a standard Alexa or Google Home serves a companion function. Simply having a device that can hold a conversation, tell jokes, play trivia, or discuss the morning news can reduce the sense of isolation. It doesn't have to be sophisticated to be helpful. One realistic expectation here: AI companions work best as a supplement to human connection, not a replacement for it. The goal is to reduce the gaps, the long hours between visits when your parent is alone, not to eliminate the need for genuine human relationship. Now let's talk about something that many caregivers say is the hardest part: Coordination. When care responsibilities are spread across multiple family members, siblings, spouses, extended family, coordination becomes its own full-time burden. Who scheduled the doctor's appointment? Who picked up the prescription? Who last checked on mom? These questions pile up fast, and when communication breaks down, important things get missed. AI-enhanced family care apps are built specifically for this challenge. Caring Village is a free app that functions as a central hub for caregiving families. It includes a shared care calendar, task assignments, a medication tracker, a document vault, and a wellness journal. The built-in AI assistant named Julia generates reminders, summarizes care updates, and identifies patterns that could indicate stress or missed tasks. Caregivers can ask Julia for quick checklists or appointment recaps, cutting down on the mental load of keeping everything in your head. CaringBridge combines a health journal with a private social network for family and friends. AI features help caregivers quickly compose updates, keeping everyone informed without requiring a lengthy writing session at the end of an already exhausting day. One of the things caregivers consistently mention is how draining it is to repeat the same update to 10 different people. CaringBridge solves that. These apps directly address what researchers call the invisible load, the mental and organizational burden of caregiving that typically falls on one primary family member and that often goes completely unrecognized. When everyone is aligned on care tasks, the primary caregiver spends less time troubleshooting and more time caring. That shift matters enormously. There's also a platform called Care Yaya that takes coordination even further by using AI matching algorithms to connect families with compatible student caregivers. The AI factors in location, schedule, care requirements, and even personality fit. That level of matching sophistication goes well beyond what a traditional placement agency can offer. And now we need to talk about something that often gets left out of these conversations entirely: the caregiver's own mental health. Caregiving takes a serious, well-documented toll on the person doing the caring. The CDC identifies elevated rates of depression, anxiety, and chronic illness among caregivers compared to non-caregivers. Caregiver burnout is real, it's common, and it can become a crisis if it goes unaddressed. A 2026 research paper in the European Journal of Public Health and Economics Research made a striking argument that AI should be understood as essential support infrastructure for caregivers, not a convenience, but a systemic intervention that restores predictability to a caregiver's day. Predictability matters. When you're not constantly waiting for the next crisis, your nervous system can actually rest. WOBA and WISA, the mental wellness apps we mentioned earlier for seniors, are equally valuable for the caregiver. Both apps use cognitive behavioral therapy-based conversational AI to help users process stress, anxiety, and grief. Research published in JMIR Mental Health has found these tools to be effective supplements for mild to moderate mental health challenges, and they're particularly accessible for caregivers who simply do not have time for regular therapy appointments. There are also emerging predictive burnout tools, integrated into platforms like Care Yaya, that use behavioral pattern data to flag when a caregiver appears to be at elevated risk. The goal is to prompt them to seek support before they hit a breaking point, rather than after. And I want to say this directly: if you feel consistently overwhelmed, please reach out to the Family Caregiver Alliance at caregiver.org. They offer evidence-based resources, support groups, and connections to local services. AI tools are most effective when they're combined with real human support, not used as a substitute for it. So how do you get started with all of this? The most important thing is to start small and to match the tool to your most urgent need. Here's a practical framework based on guidance from elder care technology specialists. First, observe your parents' daily routine. Where are the actual gaps? Missed medications? Long stretches alone? Falls happening in the bathroom at night? Identify the problem before you try to find the solution. Second, have an honest conversation with your parent. Ask what kinds of help they would be willing to accept. This matters a lot. Framing tools as conveniences rather than monitoring devices often helps with acceptance. Nobody wants to feel like they're being watched, but most people are open to something that makes their life easier. Third, assess their actual tech comfort level. Some older adults are far more capable with technology than their children assume. Go in without preconceptions and see what they're open to. Fourth, pick one tool and one need. Do not introduce 5 new gadgets at the same time. A voice assistant is almost always the easiest and most broadly useful entry point. Start there. And fifth, look into funding options. State aging agencies may subsidize devices. Veterans Administration benefits cover health monitoring for eligible veterans. Long-term care insurance may reimburse technology that supports independent living. Your local area agency on aging can point you to regional resources you might not know about. The AI-powered elder care market is continuing to develop, driven by the rapid growth of the aging population and the demonstrated value of these tools. But you do not need to wait for some future technology to arrive. Meaningful help is available right now at every price point from completely free to premium. The bottom line is this: you do not have to carry this alone. AI tools for caregivers of aging parents are more accessible, more capable, and more affordable than ever before. Start with one tool that addresses your biggest pain point. Get comfortable with it. Then build from there. Small steps lead to real relief. And if you are caring for a parent right now, thank you, genuinely. What you are doing is one of the hardest and most loving things a person can do. These tools are not here to replace you. They are here to help you. If you found this podcast useful, give us a like and follow us. Leave us your comments. If you want the full written guide, head over to AI4everyone.ai. The link will be in the show notes. And while you are there, subscribe to our free newsletter. Every week we cover one AI topic in plain English. No jargon, no hype, just practical stuff you can use. This episode was written by humans and AI. It was read by an AI voice. Thanks for listening to the Simple AI Guide. Join me for the next episode.